So this is the second lesson in coding with Simpsons, so you should have completed the first one before you go on to this. Now remember we had a CSV file here, so CSV stands for comma separated values. It's got the names, the ages, and the employment status of the people in the Simpsons from this list. Now we're going to look at this number here today. We want to play around with that one. So back to the main program. So we had a function which loaded the data. That's a user-defined function. We define that ourselves. Here's another one to display data, and we use print formatting. We want to use that technique again today. And we had another function that we created called menu. So first thing we need to do is extend the menu, and we want another feature which is going to be called display age statistics. So I'm just going to add another one in here and just put print enter to display age statistics like this, and then we'll change that 2 to a 3, and then what you need to do here is just, again, we could use copy and paste, couldn't we? Let's just get that. Copy and paste is your friend, and change that one to a 3, and this one, what we're going to do is not print anything, but we need to call a function, and we're going to have a function which we're going to call age stats. So that's our age statistics, so it's going to call it. It's underlined red because we haven't actually defined it yet, so it's thinking there's a little error there, but that will go to there for us. So that menu will work as it stands like this. So if we just did a quick run there, we should have our menu data, but if we hit 2, it gives us an error. Right, so let's close that down. Let's just work in this space here. We want to create a function called def age stats. Okay, and I'll just hit the code on there. And what we want it to do is to take to add up all the ages. So we need to loop through the CSV data in that 2D array, to loop through that, take out the age, add it all up, so you're getting a tally there, a running total, so you're getting an age, you're adding it on again, you're adding on again, so we've got that repetition, and at the end you divide it by how many there are. So we need to have some kind of variable which is just going to hold that running total for us. So sum of ages equals, it's going to be 0 to start with. We also need to know how many there are in the first place. So how many Simpsons were there? So I didn't count it, but we can use a built-in function for that. So number of Simpsons equals, and we use the len function. So we'll just do len Simpsons, and that will give you the length of that 2D array. So the length will be, so it's how many actual numbers. It's not about counting from 0 again, so it gives you the actual number of Simpsons in that list there. So once we've got that, then we can start thinking about doing a loop here. Remember, we did our loop before. We did for Simpson in Simpsons. So what is happening in this for loop? So that's what we're looping for. Simpsons is the name of our data list, our 2D array. We defined it down here. It was returned from the load data, return the 2D array. We call it Simpsons. And this is our iterator. We define that ourselves. That's just the variable name we use for each item in the Simpsons list. And we're using Simpson because it's human readable for each Simpson in the list of Simpsons. So, okay, so we've got the start of that there. And now what we need to do, as we loop through it, we need to say that the sum of ages is going to equal itself plus Simpson position 1. Remember, the age was the second item in that individual list. It was name, age, and then the employment status. So Simpson position 1. The data type of that is going to be a string. CSV came in as a string, so we need to convert that to an integer because we want to do some maths with it. So we want it to be an actual proper number there like that. So that's going to add up and give us a total. Now, once it's done all that and totaled it all up for us, the next stage is to then create the average. So the average is going to be, so the average, let's just say average age is going to equal, and then we know the maths here, don't we? So it's the sum of the ages divided by the number of Simpsons. Now, if we do that, then we're going to get a number with lots of decimal points afterwards. So we're going to have to round that down as well. So what I want to do here is just use this round function. If we put that in there, round on its own will give you, let's close that off so you can see it better. Round its own will round it down to with no decimal places. If you put a comma in here and put in 2, it'll round it down to 2 decimal places. So that's what that second item you can put inside that function will do for you. As it stands, it's just going to round down that sum for us. Okay, so that's good. So that will give us that data. And we can just test it now by doing print average age, comma, let's print the sum as well, sum of ages as well. And when we run the program, press 2, it gives us these two answers there. And let's just show you what that does here. Let's just do that again. And print number 2. And can you see you got the 0.42 there? It's given us those 2 decimal places. So we'll take that off. Now, I want to display it properly using print formatting. Now, I've worked it out to be 23 characters of width that I want for this to make it look good. So I'm going to start off with let's let it do that. So I'm going to start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 23 of those. Make it look nice. Then I'm going to print, remember the F that we used. So we need to do some opening speech marks. Get it inside a curly bracket. And I'm going to do title age stats and a colon. And I want to center that with 23 spaces allowed for it. And let's just run that and see what that looks like. So it doesn't like age stats. It's not a variable, it's a string. So I need to put it in speech marks. Okay, 2. That looks good. It's got the line at the top there. Okay, let's take that, paste that underneath. There we go. And then after that one, we will need to then just print out the sum of the ages. So let's do print in the same format, and let's go F and over the bracket and speech marks, sum of all ages, close speech marks, and then we want to do let's left justify, and we need to give that 16 spaces to make it look neat over there. We're going to put an equal sign in, and then we're going to actually display the variable, which is sum of ages, and let's give that 3 characters over there. Now hopefully when we run that one, so sum of ages, that's good, and it's returned to the menu afterwards. So let's just do another line similar to that, so copy that one down, and let's just change that to the average age, give that 16 spaces again, so that means we know it's going to line up, equal sign will line up, and over here we need to change that variable to average age and put that in the same place. And what I'll do here is I'll just tidy it up neatly with a little line at the end just to make my code look good in the console, and run again,